Hi, today I wanted to speak to you about the most important birthdays or the most important ages that one experiences in a lifetime. We usually don't think too much about the importance of an individual birth or an individual age, but there's great significance in certain ages that you will experience while you're here. So I want to go over that, and the first one begins at age 7. And thereafter, every 7th birthday, you will experience another important birthday. And I'll explain some of the reasons why. So the first one's at 7, and the next one will be at 14, and the next one will be at 21, and then 28, every 7th birthday. Now, when you have done 7 of these cycles, or 7 times 7, or 49, this is key to one of the most important birthdays you experience. So the cycle lasts always 1 year, like from 7 to 8, or from 49 to 50, or from 14 to 15. So the 49 to 50 is what I call the pivotal time in a soul's journey here. And this is when it begins to free itself from all the shoulds that it has accumulated over the years. So the shoulds from the parents, and the shoulds from the friends, and the shoulds from the marriage. So many people go through some type of crisis at 49 to 50. It can be completely unexpected. It can come out of the blue, but it's always a change agent this birthday. You reach another one at the age of 98 if you are still with us. And remember, a blueprint is at least 120 years. So we always want to think of long life, and we want to think of middle age beginning about 60. But the most important birthday of a soul's journey, one of the most, and probably the most, is 49 to 50. Now, I mentioned early on about the age of 7 when these cycles begin. So from 7 to 8, the child begins to pull away from the family of origin and the parents and that family unit, and goes out to the world to try itself on with friends, classmates, etc. So that cycle again lasts 1 year to launch it, and when the child turns 8, that no longer is tied as much to the family of origin. They've sort of flown the coop, and they need to be with their friends. They join a lot of activities. They don't want you to hold their hands when they're crossing the street. They begin to act more independent. So 7 is a huge important age because it launches that child out of the mommy stage. This is when the child pulls away from the mom and goes out to the world, whether it's a boy or a girl. The next one coming up is the age of 14, and that one is always the area and time when the emotions really kick in. So from 14 to 15, it kind of goes crazy. At the same time, at this age, the glands are kicking in as well. So we have a lot of even news headlines from children who are the age of 14 to 15. So again, these cycles continue on. One of the most important birthdays you have is also 28, 29, that year. This is when you begin to leave childhood completely. So for individuals who are turning 28, 29, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of upset, there's a lot of change in plans. They could wake up one day and say, how did I marry you? So that's a huge passage, is 28, and that begins the leaving of the childhood completely. That can take a few years so that your adult life starts in your early 30s or around 30. So these key birthdays of age 7, which launch you out of the family of origin into the world, the age of 14 to 15, where you begin to develop the emotional side and work on all this stuff, a lot of peer pressure then, and then that age of 28, 29, when you begin to leave the childhood. Now when you enter into the adult life at 30, you track on, not too much, these birthdays are nice, until you reach the one at 49, where you begin the beginning of integrating your life. So you have enough experience now to free yourself to more of what you want to do. So 49 to 50 is extremely important. You need to pay attention to what you're thinking at this time and your gut feel. But in the 50s is when you free yourself. So if you understand, we have 10 years of the number 5, or 50 to 59. That's a long passage where you're beginning to do what you need to do, or what you want to do, not what everybody else wants you to do. So it's very important to pay attention of the thoughts that you have or what you want to do when you turn 49. Now we go in again, we continue on until the age of 60. At the age of 60, as we reach the half point of a soul's life. Now, most people don't understand that. They think it's 40. It's not 40. It just feels old, but it's not, and it's because of peer pressure. But midlife is actually 60. So 60 is a huge birthday, and it's a time when, as you're approaching that birthday, that you realize, I don't have a lot of time left to waste. So you begin to discard a lot of stuff in your life. I don't want to do this anymore, I don't want to do that anymore, and you make these final plans a lot for retirement, etc. But the problem with that is that the soul did not come here to retire, so there's no such thing as retire. It's completely man-made and made up. So you want to think, okay, what would I like to do for another 60 years of my life, and how do I need to live it? What do I need to change? What do I need to get into? What do I need to get out of? So it's really, really an important birthday, and it really pulls into you, I don't have any more time to waste. So you begin to associate with different people, different lifestyle, things that are more valuable, important to you. Now, having gotten through that 60 curve where you begin that ideas of what am I doing the rest of my life, which you may have experienced at 49 to 50, but now you realize I can't waste anymore, I've done that. Remember, at 62, it's a huge assessment year, as it was at 28, of what you're going to do at 28, and 60 says, what have I done? So you literally review at 60 the last 30 years of your life, and that can be very, very painful. Because when you left childhood by 30, what did you set out on the road to do for 30 years? Because you're going to come back to it and assess it and review it when you turn 60. So these are some of the most important birthdays you want to consider. And we can talk later about a few others that are later on, but around in the 80s, but we can save that for another period of time. Thank you for listening again and watching.